off hour number 3 radio program on this Thursday afternoon. Nice to have you with us as we chat to you about what's going on as far as the world of sports is concerned. Great Sirius XM 82. Yours truly, Christopher Russo here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Plenty of phone calls, 888 Mad Dog 6 we get to as we take you home here this last hour. We've a lot to do. We're going to give you a little recap right now, and then we'll get right back to it. The NFL schedule comes out in about 3 hours. We have sort of done a lot of dribs and drabs of it in the last couple of hours as far as teams are concerned. I'll give you the quick highlights, and then we'll move on. KC and the Rams, Mexico City, 11-19. 3 games in October in Wembley. Eagles, Seahawks, Chargers, Titans, Jacksonville, Eagles, Jaguars, Chargers, Titans, and Seahawks, Raiders in London in October. 2 at Wembley, 1 at Tottenham, the other stadiums. You need to know that. That's in October, those games. The first game of the year is the Eagles against the Falcons on Thursday night in Philly. As the Eagles celebrate their championship, that'll be a roarous night. Jets and Lions will play the first Monday night game of the year, believe it or not. They'll have a doubleheader that day. Jets will kick it off in Detroit on September 10th. I'm shocked they went Jets-Lions, but that's what they did. Bears and Green Bay will play the first Sunday night game on NBC. That game will be a Sunday night game in Lambeau. That's the first Sunday night game. So the NBC crew will have Atlanta at Philly, and then they're going to have the Bears and the Packers Sunday night up in Lambeau Field. The Thursday night package for Fox appears to be a pretty good one. Dribs and drabs have come out of that. We saw Saints Cowboys on a Thursday night, for instance. We saw an Eagle Giant game in New York on week 6 on a Thursday night, for instance. So it seems like Thursday night football will be halfway decent. Patriots are all over the place. They play at Pittsburgh late in the year on the second to last weekend of the season. So you know New England has a stretch there in the middle of the season where they play basically 4 games in 5 weeks in prime time. 1 against the Colts on a Thursday night, 1 against the Bills, couple of games on Sunday night, including Green Bay when they visit New England. So you have that going on here as far as that schedule is concerned. The Thanksgiving Day night game, the Thursday night NBC game, which sometimes can be a beleaguered game, right now appears to be a pretty good one. Atlanta and the Saints will play that Thursday night game on Thanksgiving night. So you have that going on as well. So Saints will be at Minnesota. Minnesota will be at the Eagles. Minnesota also will be at New England. So it seems like they got a pretty good schedule. We'll get all the details here. Howard Katz tomorrow will join us in the first hour. He put the whole schedule together. This is he and his crew. It's their baby. Katz does this. Nobody else. He's the president of the TV component for the NFL, former president of ABC. He runs it by Goodell. The two of them hash it out late, and we'll get Howard on. He does the one interview. We get lucky to get him. Tomorrow we'll talk to Howard in the first hour. We will talk to Katz tomorrow. For those of you who love that football stuff, we'll do that early. We'll go through all the games, get some thoughts about why he did this, why he did that, and we'll have some fun. All right, that's the football as far as the afternoon is concerned here today. The one baseball note of the afternoon was supplied by Steve Torrey. Here at the bottom of the hour at 4:30, Brian Price has been dismissed as manager of the Reds. Lost 15 of his first 18. They got swept the first series of the year to the Nationals. They have not hit a lot. They never pitch. They haven't hit a ton. They've had a couple of injuries. They lost their third baseman who they signed to that big contract. And the Reds, of course, just got blanked up in Milwaukee, a team that's dead. It's not Price's fault, but he's been there a long time. They haven't really ever given him anything to work with. Always a lousy bullpen. They never have any starting pitching in a bandbox of a ballpark. I don't know how in the world you're supposed to win. They hit okay, not enough. They have never pitching, and outside of one reliever in Glacius, the closer, they never have any help in the bullpen. Yet Dick Williams and company decided to part ways. Price is out. Jim Riggleman is in. This is not a day-by-day scenario with Riggleman. They kind of left it open-ended. Later in the year was the quote, we heard that the Reds will go out in the market looking for a manager. I would be stunned if Joe Girardi takes the job. Stunned. Why would Joe Girardi, who at the end of the day might have a lot of good choices to go to, who knows where, a lot of chances to go manage a good team, why would he take this team that can't win? I don't quite get that. And he has no ties to Cincinnati at all. No ties. Funny about the Reds, you know what they did today? They put a boycott and guess who? Marty Brennaman, their play-by-play guy, Hall of Famer. Can't get Marty on. They told him, hey, Marty, you can't talk. Because, Marty, he'll tell you what's on his mind. And Marty might have a little different take about why Price was fired. A take that maybe the Reds don't want you. No. But Marty is not able to chat today. We would have gotten him on if that was the case. So Price out in Cincinnati. First manager to go. Remember, they gave him They picked up his option last September, so this year he wouldn't have to worry about his job. Last September, they picked up his option for 2018. They let him come in here after the first 18 games. Price out as manager of the Reds. That's number 2. Number 3 games tonight in the NBA. Embiid, by the way, of the 76ers, has been upgraded to probable. He was doubtful yesterday. Now he's probable for a game 3. Philly tonight will be in Miami against the Heat. Game apiece, 7 o'clock start. Miami off Wade's performance wins game 2. Embiid's been annoyed that he's sort of been treated with kid gloves, and Philadelphia has looked to protect him. He wants to play. It's the postseason. They need him. They got a bunch of spare parts with Simmons. They need another great player there. Embiid is just that, so Embiid will play tonight. I don't know if he'll start, but he'll play tonight as far as the 76ers are concerned. All eyes will be in San Antonio. Greg Popovich will not coach tonight. He against the Warriors in game 3 of that best of 7. Wife Erin died yesterday. Long illness, 4 decades of marriage. Everybody loved her, seems like. So Pop, who I guess ran a practice yesterday, obviously does not coach tonight. His assistant will. We discussed this earlier today. I don't have any issues at all with Ali DeForest asking a question to LeBron in the postgame yesterday about what he felt about Aaron Popovich. LeBron is the spokesman of the league. He's by far their best player. He's out there. He's everybody's favorite NBA player. If he can't say anything, who can? He's going to be asked that in the postgame anyway. He's got a relationship with Pop. You know that. Olympic relationship and everything else. So LeBron weighed in. He would have liked to have had. Now, Ali did tell LeBron she gave him a little heads up before the interview began and they were on camera, so LeBron knew what was going on. He would have liked to have had them at least either through the question or the response, have them at least acknowledge to the audience that they were both kept up to date prior to this interview airing, because when she asked the question like that, everybody in Twitter, not that I pay any attention to it, but yelled, how does Ali DeForest ask LeBron that question right after a game? Well, as it turns out, she had given LeBron the heads up. So if LeBron had answered it in such a way where, Ali had just told me this, wow, we would have avoided a little controversy at the end of the night, as LeBron had to come out and say Ali had given me the update. And if Ali had said, before she asked the question, LeBron, I did just tell you this. I know it's sudden, but to respond, but your thoughts on Aaron Popovich, we would have had a little sense of, how this whole thing took place. I'm making a big deal really about nothing. Bottom line is the question. I don't have any problem with the question, and I thought LeBron handled it for the most part very, very well. So that was important there. So Embiid plays Portland, New Orleans tonight, 9 o'clock. Trailblazers trail by 2. 2-0 in that best of 7 series. Trailblazers have had hurt in the backcourt. New Orleans, obviously, as I've said all week, I'll say it again. If Rondo and Holiday match up equally with McCollum and Lillard, and with Davis as the swingman, New Orleans not gonna lose that series, because he's the best player on the court. That only can be compensated by the backcourt of Portland playing great. And if they don't play great, and if nothing, or nothing better than a wash against Rondo and Holiday, they're not winning the series. I don't care how many passes they make. They are not a team that throws the ball around the perimeter a lot. Good story in the New York Times today about how they have the lowest assist ratio of any team in the league, and how they pass the ball the least compared to any team in the league. They don't have a lot of touches as far as their offense is concerned. First shot's a good shot, that kind of deal. Bottom line is they won 50 games with it. The issue is that Portland, their backcourt's being outplayed. That's a 9 o'clock game. Spurs and Warriors are at 9:30. That would be a must-watch at 9:30 to see how everybody handles that. The Warriors, Kerr, the players, the audience, the moment of silence, Popovich. That would be interesting. Spurs would be in the spotlight at 9:30 tonight, 9:45. The Spurs would be in the spotlight tonight in Game 3 against the Warriors. Spurs probably going to get swept now, I would think, in that series. Even if before this, I still don't like them winning at all. 2 hockey games tonight, and they're good ones. They're both Game 4s. They're both with the one of them, the road team leading the series 2-1. That's Boston, and the other one, the road team losing the series, is the Capitals in Columbus. They're down 2-1. I said this the other day. I don't feel this way about the Bruins, but I do feel, the Leafs, the Bruins, essentially. The Bruins, the Leafs, that game was 2-2, and the Leafs got 2 goals. Game was 2-2 in the third period, and the Leafs got 2 goals to stay alive there, make it interesting. They're down 2-1. The Columbus situation, I almost got the impression, I watched the second overtime 2 nights ago, the Capitals, a big sigh of relief when they got a game in the second overtime and won it to win their first overtime game of 3 in that series. I got the impression watching that a huge sigh of relief from the Capitals and big-time dejection from Columbus. We'll see how that responds tonight in this Game 4. Quarter after the hour, it's 5:15. We continue on Mad Dog.